So thanks everyone for coming out tonight. How are you guys doing? Great? Okay, fantastic. So I'll jump in there, a little bit about myself. Okay, so I've always been super interested in technology. I remember when my family got our first computer and it was way taller than me, just like all the boxes. But it was something always I was really interested in. I've been doing just some like front-end development since Zynga. Do you remember Zynga? Yep. Do you remember Neopets? So just something I always saw as a hobby. I always just kind of did my own, but I never really saw myself in a career like that. So after college, I moved to Japan and I became an English teacher. So how many of you tonight are English teachers? No one? Oh, okay. Oh, a couple people. So yeah, I was an English teacher for a while. And so I didn't have any kind of formal computer science or IT education, but I decided at one point, I did want to move into the IT industry. So who here, I didn't catch how many people raised their hands earlier, but who here wants to change their industry or change their job? Okay, now I got more people. Okay, so for a while I was working at English school. The hours were just private English school. The hours were really hard. But the money it's better usually in private English school. So this was my plan to kind of get into IT. So step one, I got a new job, which wasn't in the industry I wanted to because it was another English teaching job, but it was one that, I could take, I could definitely have a bit more fixed schedule, and it means I could have more time to do things that I really wanted to do. So I started updating my LinkedIn profile constantly, posting any kind of interesting articles that I got. I built a portfolio. I was really interested in data analysis and data science. And then I started a blog. And so here's a little bit of the, so this is like my plan that I went through. And then, of course, when you make a plan, the plan does not always go through so smoothly. So next, I'm going to show you the burnout cycle. So I'm sure that many of you experience this in many different things. So yes, procrastination, okay, well, I'm procrastinating, and then, okay, now this is the time that I have to do this. Just rush and panic, burnout. I can't deal with this right now. I'm so tired, I can't do it. And then after that, kind of that dread of like, oh, I'm not smart enough. I don't know if I can do this. And then you start procrastinating again. So this is actually a thing, like the burnout life cycle. But this is more what I experienced during that time that I was kind of preparing myself. So this is what I had. You can see there's two little cycles here. So one is like the burnout cycle, basically just me feeling like, oh, I can't do this, and then just keep procrastinating. And then also what I experience is the times where I really felt like, I can just do this one little thing. I would challenge myself, and I would get into this cycle of, okay, I can do this, and then I would just succeed in one little thing, and then I would felt like, okay, I should try again. So this cycle is where I really, really wanted to be, and not loop back into this cycle. But what I found is actually like, not necessarily when I failed, I would get this fear back, like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But also when I succeed, I felt like, oh, okay, maybe I've done enough for now. I can take a little bit of a break. I would also end up kind of back into this loop of procrastination. So my recommendation is it's always good to take a break, but always try to remotivate yourself to get back here when you're learning something new. Okay, so next, fast forward many years later. So I have my little blog that I made, and maybe you can notice this is a WordPress site, but you can see here, I wrote a lot of stories about mostly databases, data analysis, That's what I was working on at the time. That's what I really wanted to do. And so I kept up this cycle, and then, yes, so I had my blog, I had my portfolio. During that time, I also did a couple of just MOOCs, so edX and Coursera courses. They were fairly useful. But the thing that was most beneficial for me is I did do an online boot camp, and that was very, very useful. That was the time that I definitely learned the most. So I definitely would recommend doing any kind of like boot camp if you have time set aside. And then, so eventually, I did have an opportunity open up to me. So it wasn't exactly the job that I wanted. So this is kind of what Jan mentioned earlier, the kind of crappy development job. But an agent recommended me for a job as an application engineer. It was just an IT support role, but it did get me development experience. It got me into a large company, and actually it was IT support for a project management tool. So it gave me a chance to learn about project management, which was something that I never thought of before. So it was an exciting time for me. It wasn't my dream job, but it was something a little bit definitely closer than what I was doing before. Okay, so this is lessons learned from the first part of my journey, is just getting my first job after being an English teacher. So spend time on what can give you the most return. There will be many agents that will contact you. You don't have to meet with all of them. Just know which recruiter, which agency, which company is good for you. I got some other job offers that definitely were not a good fit. Another thing I found, there's different experiences. I think if there's a company there that you really want to meet with, you should go. I didn't think career fairs were very useful. I thought in general they're a waste of my time. And then the other one is, so don't waste time researching exactly what you want to do, just jump into it. All right, so this is my advice as well. So basically what I said before, LinkedIn, blogging is good, build a portfolio. Okay, and then my other advice is please have a personality. So actually I asked my manager at that time, why did he hire me? And he said many other people had portfolios, they had blogs, but I was the only one that had a blog that had a personality. So that's why he chose me over other candidates. And so after that, basically what happened is I did enjoy aspects of that job, but I keep a journal every day, and I started to notice the days that I was spending all of my time coding versus days that I was actually meeting and like engaging with people. The days that I was spending all my time coding, I was actually not as happy doing that, which was something that surprised me a lot. So that's why I decided I wanted to move into more of a project management role. So this is why I changed departments and I changed roles. I wanted to work with people. I also wanted to work with emerging technologies, was originally why I was so interested in data science. So that's why also I was interested in AI department. And yeah, this is lessons 2. Basically learn everything from everyone you can. Ask questions to everyone. Ask about their job, their department. If you always keep studying, even after you get a job, you have to keep it up, and you should also keep up personal branding as well. And also, networking is very important. I strongly think when you enter a company, you should always meet new people, always ask new people for lunch every day. I usually never go to lunch with the same people. I always go to lunch with someone new because it's a really great chance to meet new people and ask about their experiences. And yes, so ending, this is a little mantra I made for myself while I was going through this journey years ago. And this was my way to kind of inspire myself. So this was my goal, to discover and understand, to find creative solutions that enrich lives. So maybe now I'm doing the same thing that I originally envisioned, but I'm doing it a very different way than I originally imagined. So just my advice to you, so don't settle for anything less than you deserve, but also keep yourself open to new opportunities. So, and I'm still developing today, but I just have it as more of a side task. So, okay.